Imagine a courtroom, a place designed for stark impartiality, for the dispassionate application of law and the pursuit of objective truth. Now, imagine that same courtroom becoming the stage for a deeply personal, almost Shakespearean drama. A place where a judge, a pillar of justice, finds himself grappling with a hidden past, a secret so profoundly intertwined with the lives before him that it threatens to shatter his entire world. What defines a family in our modern, complex society? Is it the unbreakable ties of blood, the stability offered by wealth and privilege? Or is it something far more intangible, forged in the fires of sacrifice, resilience, and unwavering love? These aren't just abstract questions. They are the very core of an extraordinary real-life story we're about to delve into today. It's a story that will challenge your perceptions of justice, parenthood, and the enduring power of human connection. We're going to explore a narrative so compelling, so emotionally charged, that it transcends mere legal proceedings. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about societal judgment, economic disparity, and the profound, long-lasting consequences of choices made in haste or fear. This isn't just about a custody battle. It's about a mother's fierce fight, children's unyielding loyalty, and a judge's dramatic reckoning with a past he thought was buried forever. From the first shocking outburst by a 7-year-old in a hushed courtroom to the final transformative verdict, every moment in this tale is a testament to the fact that some truths cannot be silenced and some bonds cannot be broken. So, settle in, because this isn't just a story. It's a profound journey into the heart of what truly matters when everything else falls away. This is the unbreakable bond, when truth, justice, and love collide. Our journey begins in the bustling, often unforgiving landscape of a modern city where Tasha Johnson was performing a daily balancing act that thousands, if not millions, of single parents know all too well. She was a single mother raising 7-year-old triplets, Malik, Maya, and Micah, a feat of superhuman dedication in itself. Her life was a relentless cycle of work, worry, and unwavering love, constantly pushing against the tides of financial precarity. We first meet Tasha at Miller's Diner, a place that represents both her lifeline and her battlefield. Picture the scene: trays clattering, orders shouted, the frantic rhythm of a busy lunchtime. Tasha, with one hand, tried to navigate the chaos, while with the other, she metaphorically held on to her 3 small children, seated quietly in a back booth, a silent plea hanging in the air that her boss wouldn't notice them. This isn't merely a plot point. It's a visceral, heartbreaking portrayal of the tightrope walk many low-income single parents are forced to perform. They constantly teeter on the edge, one wrong step away from losing everything. Let's pause here and really unpack what Tasha's situation represents. This isn't just one woman's struggle. It's a microcosm of systemic challenges faced by single mothers globally. Studies by organizations like the Pew Research Center consistently highlight that single-parent households, predominantly led by women, experience significantly higher rates of poverty compared to 2-parent households. Why is this? It's not a moral failing. It's a complex interplay of factors. Tama, inadequate childcare infrastructure. Affordable, high-quality childcare is often a luxury. When schools let out early, as in Tasha's case, or when a child gets sick, it creates an immediate crisis. Parents are forced to choose between work and childcare, a choice that often results in job loss. 4. Inflexible work environments. Many low-wage jobs offer little flexibility, demanding rigid hours and punishing absenteeism, even for legitimate family emergencies. Mr. Simmons, Tasha's boss, embodies this unsympathetic reality. His harsh words, "Again, Tasha, this ain't no daycare," are not just directed at her. They are a universal indictment of a system that expects parents to perform without acknowledging their fundamental responsibilities. Wage gap and discriminatory practices. Women, particularly women of color, still face a significant wage gap. This, combined with potential discrimination in hiring or promotion for mothers, further exacerbates financial strain. The emotional and psychological toll. Beyond the financial, consider the immense psychological burden. The constant stress, the fear of failure, the pervasive anxiety about the future of one's children. It's an invisible labor that often goes unacknowledged, yet it profoundly impacts mental and physical health. The shame Tasha felt, wanting to rush out before her shame drowned her completely, is not a sign of weakness, but a painful response to societal judgment. We, as a society, often shame individuals for systemic problems, shifting blame from structural inequities to personal failings. Tasha's public humiliation at the diner, amplified by the gasps and chuckles of customers, paints a bleak picture of community empathy. Why is a mother trying to survive seen as an embarrassment? This question delves into our collective perception of worth and responsibility. It suggests that if a mother isn't adhering to a narrow, idealized version of childcare, she is somehow failing rather than acknowledging the impossible circumstances she's navigating. The swift firing, spurred by Malik's protective outburst, a child bravely defending his mother, is a heartbreaking consequence. It showcases the catch-22 many low-income workers face: defend your dignity and risk your livelihood, protect your children and lose the means to support them. Tasha's rush out, before her shame drowned her completely, is a visceral illustration of the emotional violence inherent in such situations. Shame, often misplaced, becomes a heavy burden when society implies individual failure for systemic problems. Then came the eviction notice, 10 days to vacate. This isn't just a piece of paper, it's a direct assault on the fundamental human need for shelter and security. For a family, especially one with young children, an eviction isn't just about moving. It's about uprooting stability, severing community ties, and plunging into an even deeper abyss of uncertainty. The whispered pitying and mocking from neighbors only compounds the isolation and vulnerability Tasha felt. It's a chilling reminder that even in close-knit communities, empathy can often be a fragile commodity, easily overshadowed by judgment. In that small living room, as Tasha finally broke down, confessing, "I can't do this anymore," we see the profound weight of her burdens. It's a moment of utter despair, where the mask of strength slips, revealing the raw pain beneath. But it's in this moment of vulnerability that the story's true power begins to unfold. Her children, her little soldiers, rally around her. "Don't cry, Mama, we'll fight for you. We're your soldiers, Mama, and soldiers never quit." These aren't just comforting words, they are an extraordinary testament to the bond they share, a bond forged in adversity, stronger than any external pressure. They symbolize the resilience of childhood and the unexpected strength that can emanate from familial love. This collective spirit of defiance, this unwavering loyalty from children so young, is a powerful indicator of Tasha's parenting. Despite their challenging circumstances, she has instilled in them an incredible sense of self-worth, courage, and unconditional love. They are not unruly rugrats, as their landlord will later call them. They are a unit, fortified by their bond, ready to face the world together. The escalating crisis in Tasha's life quickly brought the family face-to-face with the forces determined to push them further into the margins. The landlord, Mr. Givens, becomes the embodiment of relentless, unsympathetic pressure. His menacing presence, described with visceral detail, belly straining against his shirt, his face twisted with disdain, immediately signals a power dynamic weighted heavily against Tasha. His public shaming tactics, ensuring his voice carried down the hallway so the neighbors could hear, are calculated to isolate and humiliate. This tactic is common, leveraging community judgment to enforce compliance and further disempower the vulnerable. What happens next is truly remarkable. When Mr. Givens threatens Tasha and dismisses her children as rugrats, it's not Tasha who responds first, but Maya. Her chin high, fists balled at her sides, confronting him directly with, "Don't you dare talk to our mama like that," is more than just an outburst. It's a declaration of moral principle, a defiant stand against bullying. 7-year-olds instinctively recognize injustice, and their unvarnished honesty often cuts through adult pretenses. Maya's powerful retort, "You just bully people 'cause you're mean," strips Mr. Givens of his perceived authority, exposing him for what he truly is. Micah's quiet yet firm, "We're not scared of you. We're not leaving, Mama," further underscores this unwavering loyalty. This collective defiance from children so young is not just emotionally impactful, it serves as a powerful testament to Tasha's parenting. Despite their challenging circumstances, she has instilled in them an incredible sense of self-worth, courage, and unconditional love. They are not unruly rugrats, they are a unit, fortified by their bond. This scene vividly demonstrates that sometimes the most profound truths can come from the most unexpected voices. The threat of child services looms large, a grim shadow over Tasha's already precarious existence. For many struggling parents, this isn't an offer of help, but a threat of family dissolution. It's a system designed in principle to protect children, but which too often penalizes parents for poverty rather than actual neglect. The landlord's casual suggestion that it might be better for them anyway reveals a profound misunderstanding of family bonds and the psychological harm of separation, regardless of material conditions. Consider the case of Maria Rodriguez, a single mother of two in a fictional urban setting. Maria lost her job during an economic downturn, struggled with rent, and found herself on the radar of Child Protective Services. Like Tasha, her apartment was sparse, her fridge often empty. A social worker, while noting the physical shortcomings, also observed Maria tirelessly tutoring her children, reading to them by flashlight when the power was cut, and fostering an environment of immense love and emotional security. The dilemma for the system is stark. How do you differentiate between poverty and neglect? How do you ensure child safety without tearing apart families that are rich in love but poor in resources? This narrative forces us to critically examine the criteria we use to judge a parent's fitness, moving beyond purely materialistic definitions to acknowledge the holistic well-being of the child. Tasha's desperate plea to Pastor Daniels, "They're threatening to take my babies, Pastor. I don't know how much more I can take," is not just a request for help, but an expression of profound existential dread. The church, a traditional source of solace and community support, offers what it can, prayers and meager funds, but acknowledges its limitations. The church couldn't save them from the landlord or the courts. This realization underscores the stark reality that sometimes, even faith and community solidarity are not enough against the cold machinery of legal and economic systems. It is amidst this deepening despair that Malik, driven by a child's innocent curiosity and an almost preternatural intuition, stumbles upon a hidden relic of Tasha's past, an envelope yellowed with age. The name Anthony and the devastating opening line, "Tasha, I can't be a father right now. My family would never accept this. I'm sorry," are a shocking revelation, not just to Malik, but to the entire unfolding narrative. Tasha's violent reaction, snatching the letter, burning it, and fiercely declaring, "That name doesn't matter, it never mattered," betrays the depth of her pain and the secrecy she's maintained for 7 years. It also, inadvertently, fuels Malik's burgeoning suspicion. The past, buried under ashes and suppressed memories, is now bubbling to the surface, promising a confrontation that will reshape everything. This hidden truth, like a dormant volcano, is about to erupt, changing the landscape of their lives forever. The narrative meticulously builds tension toward the inevitable courtroom showdown. The summons to family court isn't just a legal document. It's a formal declaration of war against Tasha's motherhood. The language itself, concerning the custody of your 3 children, is clinical, yet carries the devastating threat of family separation. Tasha's initial reaction, her trembling, "No, baby, court is not for children. I'll handle it," reveals a mother's instinct to shield her young from the harsh realities of adult conflict. But the triplets, having already demonstrated their fierce loyalty, exchange a look of fierce determination. They are not about to be silent. This moment solidifies their role not just as children in need of protection, but as active participants, even soldiers in this battle. Imagine a child 7 years old understanding that their entire world, their home, their mother, is under threat. What compels them to act? Developmental psychology tells us that children at this age possess a strong sense of fairness and justice, particularly when it pertains to their primary caregivers. Their courtroom practice in the apartment, with Malik pounding a plastic spoon gavel and Maya crafting stories about Tasha's love, is heartbreakingly poignant. It's a child's attempt to grasp and reframe an intimidating alien adult world. This isn't manipulation. It's a pure, unadulterated form of advocacy driven by profound love. Micah's simple declaration, holding up his school certificates, "And I got these 'cause Mama stayed up helping me. That's proof she's a good mom," cuts to the very heart of the definition of fit parenting. It challenges the legalistic, materialistic criteria with the undeniable evidence of nurturing, dedication, and impact. It's a powerful reminder that the true indicators of good parenting are often found in these small, consistent acts of love and support, not in bank accounts or property deeds. As Tasha and her children enter the courthouse, described as a fortress, the atmosphere is thick with dread and the weight of their uncertain future. The anonymous lawyers strode past with heavy briefcases, their eyes skimming Tasha and her children as if they were already lost. Perfectly illustrates the dehumanizing experience of being a litigant in a system that often prioritizes process over people, especially the poor. The cold, imposing architecture of the courthouse itself can be intimidating, designed to instill a sense of awe and power, which can be profoundly disempowering for those who feel powerless. Consider historical instances where children's testimonies, initially dismissed as unreliable or easily influenced, have ultimately provided crucial insights. During the early 20th century, in some child labor cases, the raw, unvarnished accounts of children themselves, despite legal challenges, brought to light the harsh realities of exploitation, sparking social reform. While the legal system typically has rules against young children directly testifying in complex cases, the emotional impact of their presence and their attempts to be heard can be undeniable, even when not formally on the stand. This is precisely what happens in Tasha's courtroom. And then, the pivotal moment. Tasha stands before Judge Anthony Wright. The narrator's meticulous description. Something flickered in his eyes, something unsettled. He stared unsettled, as if looking at echoes of himself. Is the first subtle crack in the edifice of his judicial composure. This isn't just a judge viewing a case. It's a man confronting a ghost. The prosecutor's opening statement, listing Tasha's deficiencies. No stable income, no proper housing, and no father in the home to provide support are standard arguments in custody cases. But for Judge Wright, these words are not just legal points. They are painful echoes of his own past choices, his own abandonment. The children's immediate, spontaneous outbursts, Maya crying, "He's lying, Mama, you're a good mom," and Malik asserting, "Our Mama takes care of us better than anybody could," are more than just interruptions. They are authentic cries of truth, untainted by legal strategy. For Judge Wright, these aren't just unruly children, they are mirror images. Their bright eyes, stubborn chin, their courage, and fiery defiance are described in terms that explicitly link them to him. The line, "in those eyes," was not just discipline, it was recognition, is the narrative's first overt confirmation of his dawning realization. This recognition isn't just about physical resemblance. It's a deeper, emotional resonance. It's the moment when a judge, tasked with upholding the law, is forced to confront his own personal failings. The internal monologue provided in the transcript. For a moment his mind drifted back 7 years, a young woman, a night of passion, and the decision he had buried under shame and ambition, reveals the depth of his buried guilt. His authority, his carefully constructed facade of impartiality, begins to crumble under the weight of this unbearable truth. The gavel hung in midair, not out of uncertainty about procedure, but from the paralyzing grip of his past. This scene masterfully uses the children's raw honesty as a catalyst for the judge's internal crisis. Their simple, irrefutable statements about Tasha's love and sacrifice. "She stays up all night just so we can eat. She helps with homework. She makes us laugh," are not just defenses of their mother, they are indictments of the father who was absent. Micah's 100 on my math test becomes a symbol of the quiet, everyday heroism of a devoted parent, a stark contrast to the abstract, often cold, language of the law. The courtroom drama, therefore, becomes not just about Tasha's custody, but about Judge Wright's own moral reckoning. The seemingly impartial halls of justice have become the stage for a family secret, forcing a powerful man to face the undeniable reflection of his past choices. The courtroom, initially a sterile arena for legal arguments, rapidly transforms into a crucible of raw emotion and unspoken history. Judge Wright's increasingly erratic behavior, the trembling gavel, the gruff orders masking internal turmoil, his insistent gaze on the children, fuels the growing suspicions within the gallery. The whispers, "Don't they look like him?" and the frantic scribbling of reporters are the early tremors of a public scandal. This highlights a critical aspect of high-stakes legal proceedings. They often play out not just in the confines of the court, but in the court of public opinion, where perception can be as powerful as evidence. Consider the psychological toll of carrying a profound secret, especially for a public figure like Judge Wright. For 7 years, he had meticulously constructed a life built on reputation, authority, and perhaps self-deception. The children's appearance isn't just a physical reminder, it's a direct assault on his cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort experienced by a person who holds contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values. He championed justice, yet personally perpetuated a grave injustice. He sat in judgment of others while harboring a truth that would expose his own profound moral failing. In his chambers, Judge Wright's internal struggle intensifies. The repetition of the clerk, Harris, asking, "Sir, you all right?" followed by Wright's sharp reply and then a softer tone, illustrates the profound disarray of a man losing control of his carefully curated life. The case file, detailing Tasha's struggles, now takes on a devastating personal meaning. Unpaid rent, job termination, eviction notices are no longer just bureaucratic data. They are the direct consequences of his past actions, of the life he walked away from. The social worker's notes: children extremely loyal to mother, protective, fiercely vocal, are not merely observations. They are testaments to Tasha's unwavering love and implicitly further indictments of his absence. The memory of a younger Tasha, her laughter like music, his own cowardice the night he walked away, and the letter he never should have written, violently reassert themselves. This internal torment is a powerful commentary on the long-term consequences of choices, particularly those driven by fear and ambition. Wright's position as judge, a symbol of authority and impartiality, now stands in direct contradiction to his personal betrayal. He is forced to confront the living proof of his past, standing in his courtroom, calling him Your Honor instead of Daddy. This juxtaposition is the dramatic heart of the story. The prosecutor, ever the opportunist, cleverly seizes on the children's outbursts as proof these children lack discipline, and with a shrewd and calculated move, calls for a paternity test. This isn't just a legal maneuver, it's a strategic blow designed to expose the truth that Judge Wright is desperately trying to suppress. Tasha's entire body stiffened, her blood rushing in his ears for Judge Wright, perfectly captures the immediate, visceral impact of this demand. The words paternity test are no longer abstract. They are the key to unlocking a secret that could dismantle careers and families. Consider the ethical implications of a court-ordered paternity test, especially when it becomes a public spectacle. While DNA testing can definitively establish biological parentage, its use in a public forum can carry immense emotional and reputational weight. For Tasha, it's a humiliating intrusion into her personal life, forcing her children to confront a painful truth under the glare of public scrutiny. For Judge Wright, it's the ultimate undoing of his carefully constructed persona. This situation highlights how legal tools, while intended for clarity, can also be wielded as instruments of public exposure and personal devastation. The right to privacy clashes dramatically with the public's right to know, especially when a public figure is involved. Micah's poignant interjection, "We're not fatherless, we got mama, she's everything," is a profound statement on the nature of parenthood. It challenges the purely biological definition with an emotional and experiential one. This highlights a universal truth. A parent is defined not by genetics, but by presence, sacrifice, and unconditional love. The judge's inability to silence the prosecutor, his need to remain impartial, to wear the robe of justice, not the mask of regret, underscores the agonizing conflict between his judicial duty and his burgeoning paternal guilt. The mounting rumors in the courthouse cafeteria, they look just like him. The eyes, the jawline, reflect the human tendency to connect dots, especially when scandal is in the air. This public speculation further tightens the noose around Judge Wright. Meanwhile, Tasha's desperate plea to her children to say nothing about their father reveals her protective instincts born from the pain of past abandonment. She wants to shield them from the hurt and humiliation associated with a man who chose to disappear. Malik's stubborn whisper, "Maybe it's not closed, maybe he's closer than you think," is a chilling premonition, showing a child's intuitive grasp of unspoken truths. His observation of the judge's stares, combined with the unearthed letter, leads him to the undeniable, world-shattering conclusion. I think that man is our daddy." This moment, the weight of those words settled like thunder before a storm, is the emotional climax before the public revelation. It signifies that the children themselves are becoming active agents in uncovering the truth, a truth that will soon be impossible to ignore or contain. The storm, long brewing beneath the surface, is finally about to break, bringing with it both destruction and perhaps an opportunity for a clearer path forward. The dramatic crescendo that was building for days finally explodes with the court-ordered DNA test. This moment isn't just about legal procedure. It's a public unmasking, a complete stripping away of Judge Wright's carefully constructed life. The scene is masterfully painted with sensory details. Reporters swarmed like bees, microphones flashing, voices clamoring over one another, creating an atmosphere of frenzied chaos outside the courthouse. Inside, the tense silence of suspicion before Judge Wright's entry is heavier than any legal pronouncement. Every eye on him, waiting for a slip, a crack, a confession, transforms him from the impartial arbiter to the scrutinized defendant. In an age of instant information and social media, a scandal involving a public figure, especially a judge, quickly becomes a media circus. The prosecutor, embodying opportunistic ambition, capitalizes on the public spectacle, declaring the situation a distraction to the integrity of this court, and boldly motions for the immediate DNA test. His pointed insinuation, "If you are hiding something, Your Honor, perhaps you are no longer impartial," is a direct, public challenge to Wright's credibility, designed to force his hand. This highlights the ruthless nature of legal and public relations battles, where personal secrets become powerful weapons. The children's responses during this heated exchange are, once again, the moral compass of the story. Maya's profound statement, "A father isn't the man who gave us his face. A father is the man who stayed, and he didn't. Mama did," transcends the legal definition of parenthood. It's a powerful philosophical declaration that resonates with anyone who understands that true family is forged through consistent presence and love, not just biological ties. Micah's heartbreaking questions. "If he was our dad, why didn't he come to my spelling bee? Why didn't he clap when I got these? Why didn't he fix Mama's tears at night?" Further solidify this emotional truth, exposing the profound void left by an absent parent. These are not merely children's complaints. They are universal expressions of a child's fundamental need for a present, supportive father figure. Judge Wright's internal battle culminates in his decision to recess. His hurried retreat to chambers, leaving chaos in his wake, signifies his complete loss of control, not just over the courtroom, but over his own life narrative. The subsequent whispered revelation from Tasha to her children in the hospital waiting room, "Yes, he is their father," is a moment of raw vulnerability. It acknowledges the truth, not as a weapon, but as a painful reality she can no longer hide. Her explanation, "I wanted to protect you. His family, they would have destroyed us," reveals the immense burden she has carried, the sacrifices she made to shield her children from a powerful, potentially destructive force. Malik's fierce response, "Then why should he get to decide our lives now? Why should he sit up there and judge us?" directly challenges the hypocrisy of his biological father's position. It speaks to a profound sense of injustice, not just personal, but systemic. The children are not just objects of a custody battle. They are sentient beings with their own sense of right and wrong, their own valid anger and confusion. The public revelation of the DNA results. Probability of paternity 99.9%. The DNA test confirms that Judge Anthony Wright is the biological father. Is the story's ultimate dramatic peak. The gallery erupted. Flashbulbs lit the room, capturing the seismic shock of the moment. Tasha's knees buckling and the triplets' unwavering declarations. We already knew. He doesn't matter. We don't need him. We just need you, are the emotional core. They underscore that while biology might define a relationship, it doesn't automatically confer emotional significance or parental legitimacy. For these children, their mother's love is the only currency that matters. Consider a fictionalized scenario. A 12-year-old named David, who grew up without a father, suddenly discovers through a public revelation that his biological father is a prominent local businessman. David, like Malik, might experience a whirlwind of emotions: anger at the years of absence, confusion over the secrecy, and a profound sense of betrayal. The identity of the biological father, regardless of his status, would struggle to displace the mother who provided daily care and love. This highlights the concept of psychological parent, the individual who fills the parenting role and provides for a child's needs, whether or not they are biologically related. The legal system, in its best form, should recognize this distinction, prioritizing the established bond over mere biology. Judge Wright's public's downfall is swift and devastating. The prosecutor's sarcastic, "Your Honor," or should I say Father, seals his fate in the court of public opinion. The whispers of hypocrite, judge by day, coward by night, strip him of his professional identity and expose his moral bankruptcy. Malik's powerful summation: sorry doesn't feed us, sorry doesn't fix 7 years, sorry doesn't make you a father, is a searing indictment, a powerful articulation of the irrevocable damage caused by absence and neglect. It's a direct challenge to the notion that a simple apology can erase years of hardship and emotional pain. This moment is not just about a verdict. It's about a man's entire life being laid bare and found wanting, judged not by legal codes, but by the irrefutable truth of his children's hearts. The collapse of his authority is complete, leaving him exposed and shattered in the very place he once commanded with such absolute power. With Judge Anthony Wright's recusal, the legal drama shifts to a new, pivotal chapter under the Honorable Naomi Ellis. Her entrance, described with a new nameplate on the bench and a calm, steady, unbothered demeanor, immediately signals a shift in the court's atmosphere. This isn't just a new judge, it's a metaphor for a new kind of justice, one that can look past the sensationalism and personal drama to focus purely on the best interest of the child. Judge Ellis represents the ideal of impartial justice, a stark contrast to her predecessor, whose personal demons had compromised his objectivity. Judge Ellis's calm and steady presence is crucial. It brings a sense of much-needed stability to a courtroom reeling from chaos and scandal. Her immediate priority is to cut through the noise and focus on the best interest of the child, a legal standard that, while often invoked, is rarely applied with such nuanced understanding. This standard is not simply about financial provision, but encompasses emotional, psychological, educational, and physical well-being. A truly effective justice system, particularly in family courts, must consider the entirety of a child's life, not just the material aspects. The prosecutor's continued insistence on a materialistic definition of the children's best interest, focusing on Judge Wright's wealth, influence, and stability versus Tasha's poverty and chaos, highlights a persistent societal bias. This argument, common in custody battles, often equates financial provision with superior parenting, overlooking the profound emotional and developmental needs that money alone cannot buy. It's a reductionist view that fails to grasp the complexity of child development and the irreplaceable value of a nurturing bond. Tasha's response is a resounding rejection of this materialistic framework. Her declaration, "The biological father left when a belly was the only proof I had. Structure wasn't missing from my children's lives. A man was," is a powerful redefinition of value. It asserts that emotional presence and unwavering commitment are the true pillars of family stability, far outweighing the absence of a financial provider. Her refusal to be silenced, her sharp retort to the prosecutor, demonstrates her unwavering strength and her belief in her own worth as a mother. This is Tasha reclaiming her narrative, asserting her agency in a system that often seeks to strip it away. The testimony of Ms. Carter, the social worker, under Judge Ellis's scrutiny, becomes particularly crucial. Her initial, measured assessment. The apartment shows scarcity, but not neglect. There's love there, a lot of it. Lays the groundwork. But her later, more profound statement, they have what every child needs most? Consistency, love, advocacy. Are the finances unstable? Yes, but the instability is economic, not emotional. Delivers a powerful blow to the prosecutor's arguments. This distinction is vital. Poverty, while challenging, does not automatically equate to neglect or emotional instability. Ms. Carter's observation that she has intervened in homes with nicer furniture and dying spirits beautifully encapsulates the core message. Material wealth does not guarantee emotional well-being. The children, she concludes, are rich in the things that truly matter. Modern child development and family law increasingly emphasize attachment theory. This theory, pioneered by John Bowlby, posits that children need to form a secure emotional bond with at least one primary caregiver for healthy social and emotional development. The best interest of the child is often best served by maintaining these secure attachments, even if the primary caregiver faces economic hardships. Tasha's consistent presence, love, and advocacy formed the secure attachment that allowed her children to thrive emotionally despite material scarcity. Judge Ellis, through Ms. Carter's testimony, seems to implicitly understand this, prioritizing the emotional richness of the family unit over the perceived material stability offered by an absent biological father. The cross-examination of Mr. Givens by Tasha herself is a moment of profound empowerment. Without a lawyer, relying solely on her experience and truth, she systematically dismantles his lies, exposing his malice and his failure as a landlord. By forcing him to admit to the 3 days, no heat, and then powerfully reframing her actions, I boiled water on the stove and wrapped them in blankets and still sent them to school with their homework done. That man calls that neglect. I call it survival. Tasha not only vindicates herself, but also speaks for countless parents who perform heroic acts of survival daily. This is a visceral example of how true strength emerges not from privilege, but from adversity. Her testimony, raw and truthful, becomes more compelling than any legal argument. The testimonies of Pastor Daniels and the school counselor further bolster Tasha's case, painting a holistic picture of a devoted mother and thriving children. Micah's certificates, shining like little suns, become tangible proof of Tasha's diligent support and the children's remarkable resilience. The courtroom, once a place of judgment, transforms into a space where Tasha's love and dedication are finally affirmed. The community, through these witnesses, speaks for Tasha, demonstrating the collective fabric of support that has sustained her. In her final statement, Tasha delivers a poignant, irrefutable truth. I have never, not once, let these children feel unloved. They don't get everything they want, but they always get everything they need. My yes when the world says no, my arms when the night is loud, my voice when theirs shakes. This is the essence of her motherhood, a testament to her unwavering presence and emotional support. Her plea, if this court wants to help us live, not leave. Don't tear roots and call it gardening, is a powerful metaphor for the destructive potential of separating a child from their nurturing environment. It's an appeal for restorative rather than punitive justice. The children's final, simple declarations. We're not giving up our mama. Family is who stays. Please let us go home. Solidify their collective will and emotional clarity. These are not manipulated statements. They are deeply felt truths, emanating from the core of their being. Judge Ellis's ruling is a triumph of compassionate justice. Her observation, this court has seen the worst of families dressed as best, and the best of families dressed in hand-me-downs, directly challenges the superficial judgments often made based on appearances and wealth. Her decision to maintain legal custody remains with Miss Johnson, coupled with an order for immediate stabilization assistance, emergency rental support, rental mediation, food benefits, and priority job placement, reflects a truly holistic approach to justice. It acknowledges systemic issues and provides practical support rather than simply punishing poverty. Crucially, her ruling regarding Judge Wright, no custodial transfer. Any contact must begin with restorative family counseling at the mother's discretion and at the father's expense. This is an invitation to accountability, not a prize. Is a masterclass in restorative justice. It rejects the idea that biological fatherhood automatically grants rights without responsibility or effort. It places the power and discretion firmly in Tasha's hands, allowing her to control the terms of any potential reconciliation, emphasizing healing and true accountability over legal entitlement. This final verdict is not just a legal victory, it's a moral and emotional triumph, affirming that love, sacrifice, and presence are the true bedrock of family. The courtroom, after weeks of turmoil, finally delivers a verdict that is not just legally sound, but profoundly human. 6 months later, the tangible and emotional transformation in Tasha's life is beautifully rendered. The apartment keys were heavier because they opened a different door, a metaphor not just for new physical space, but for a new chapter filled with hope and stability. The details are small but significant. Sun pulled on new floors. Secondhand couch, yes, but it didn't sink in the middle. A magnet calendar on the fridge held more color than bills. These are not just improvements. They are symbols of dignity restored, of anxieties eased. Tasha's new job as Tasha Johnson Patient Services, Grady Memorial Hospital, is not just employment. It's a stable career with purpose, allowing her to work days now, transforming dinner from panic to seasoning. This period of 6 months signifies post-traumatic growth, a positive psychological change experienced as a result of struggling with highly challenging life circumstances. Tasha and her children didn't just survive, they thrived. Their material improvements are important, but the true measure of their healing lies in the emotional security they've found. The children's thriving individual successes, Malik starting at Point this weekend, Maya with a solo at the church concert and her heartfelt poem, Mama Don't Break, and Micah making the district spelling team, are direct evidence of Tasha's unwavering nurturing. These achievements are not just personal victories. They are living proof that her love fed us when food didn't, that her dedication created an environment where her children could flourish, even in the face of immense adversity. Maya's poem, Mama Don't Break, is a profound tribute, a testament from a child's perspective to the unbreakable spirit of their mother. It's a powerful narrative of resilience, articulated by the very heart of the family. The continued support from Pastor Daniels and the church community underscores the power of collective care and the lasting impact of genuine compassion. The grocery bags, the home visits, the reserved front row seats at the concert. These acts of kindness reinforce the idea that Tasha and her children are part of a supportive network, a true community that values them. It highlights the importance of social capital and communal solidarity in overcoming adversity. Against this backdrop of healing and renewed strength, Judge Wright's appearance is particularly poignant. His transformation is physical and emotional, drenched, his eyes hollow, suit without a robe, wore loss like a tight shirt. This is not the arrogant, powerful judge from before, but a man stripped of his authority and reputation, grappling with profound regret. The rumor that he'd resigned before the hearing board could eat him alive confirms his professional downfall, a direct consequence of his past actions. His subtle, almost furtive attempts to connect, sitting in the back pew at Mount Zion twice, left before the benediction both times, show a tentative, perhaps desperate, yearning for connection, but also an understanding of the immense distance he created. Tasha's measured response at the door is crucial. She opens it half an inch, then half a heart more, signaling a guarded willingness to engage, but strictly on her terms. His offering of a plain envelope and a cashier's check for the children's education, college funds, is a material attempt at atonement. His confession, guilt paid for the first deposit, responsibility will pay for the rest, marks a significant shift. He is no longer hiding. He is beginning to accept accountability, acknowledging the difference between transient guilt and sustained responsibility. His statement, "I'm in counseling, the kind you ordered," indicates he is taking the first steps towards personal growth and adhering to the court's mandate for restorative family counseling. Consider the complex dynamics of forgiveness and boundary setting and reconciliation. In many real-life scenarios where an absent parent attempts to re-enter a child's life, the immediate reaction of the primary caregiver is often a protective one. It's not about being vengeful. It's about safeguarding the emotional stability of the children. Tasha's decision to accept financial support while maintaining emotional distance is a powerful act of healthy boundary setting. It recognizes the practical benefits for her children while ensuring their emotional well-being remains paramount. This approach teaches children the importance of self-respect and the fact that relationships, especially parental ones, must be earned through consistent effort, not simply assumed by biological right. It's a message that resonates deeply with the children's earlier declarations about a father being someone who stays. However, Tasha's boundaries are clear and firm. She accepts the financial support, recognizing its benefit for her children, but she does not immediately invite him into their lives. Her silence when Malik asks, "Mama, who is it?" and her simple instruction, "Go finish your reading, baby," reassert her control over the narrative and her children's emotional well-being. The handwritten folded twice letter he leaves for them to read when you say it's time respects Tasha's autonomy and acknowledges that the pace of healing and potential reconnection is hers to determine. His final words, "You kept them safe. I didn't deserve that kindness, but you gave it anyway. It wasn't for you," she said. "I know," he answered, and left like a man who finally understood the shape of his own shadow, demonstrate a powerful, if painful, understanding of his past failures and Tasha's unconditional love for her children. He leaves a changed man, humbled and embarking on a difficult journey toward true redemption. Tasha's action of setting the envelope on the highest shelf symbolizes her continued protection of her children, her careful stewardship of their future, and her unwavering control over the terms of engagement with their biological father. It signifies that while the truth is known, its integration into their lives will be on their terms, at their pace. It's a testament to her strength, not just in surviving, but in guiding her family toward a future where their emotional needs are prioritized. The story concludes not with a perfect, idealized resolution, but with a realistic and hopeful one, where love, resilience, and personal boundaries create a strong foundation for the future, proving that the most profound victories are often found in the quiet strength of everyday choices. This extraordinary journey, from the depths of despair to the pinnacle of triumph, leaves us with profound, actionable lessons about what truly constitutes a family, the enduring power of love, and the often complex nature of justice. Lesson 1. Redefining parenthood. Love will raise you, not just blood. The story of Tasha and her triplets unequivocally redefines parenthood. It tells us that blood can name you, but love will raise you. It's a stark reminder that biological ties, while significant, do not automatically confer the title or responsibilities of a parent. True parenthood is built on a foundation of consistent presence, relentless sacrifice, unwavering emotional support, and the daily choice to put a child's needs above one's own. Tasha's example illustrates that a parent is defined by the hands that hold, the voice that soothes, the spirit that inspires, and the love that endures, even when everything else lets go. In a world increasingly complex with diverse family structures, single-parent homes, blended families, adoptive parents, this message is more crucial than ever. It's about acknowledging and celebrating the psychological parent, the one who consistently shows up and nurtures, regardless of genetic lineage. Lesson 2. The indomitable spirit. Resilience forged in adversity. This narrative illuminates the sentient, indomitable spirit of children and the quiet strength of a mother's love. Malik, Maya, and Micah, despite their tender age, became powerful advocates for their mother, their truth cutting through legal rhetoric and societal judgment. Their resilience, born from Tasha's unwavering dedication, reminds us that even in the most challenging circumstances, children can find their voice and stand firm for what they know is right. Tasha's journey is a testament to the immense strength found in vulnerability, the power of fighting for your convictions, and the quiet dignity of simply surviving, thriving, and loving. It teaches us that resilience isn't the absence of struggle, but the capacity to bounce back, to adapt, and to grow stronger through it. This strength is not inherited. It is cultivated through love and consistent support. Lesson 3: Accountability and the Long Shadow of Choices. The story offers a critical commentary on justice, accountability, and the long shadow of past choices. Judge Anthony Wright's descent from a figure of authority to a man facing his own judgment is a powerful cautionary tale. It shows us that ambition and fear can lead to profound abandonment, and that the truth, no matter how deeply buried, will eventually surface. His path to accountability, initiated by the court but ultimately guided by Tasha's boundaries, suggests that true redemption is not a quick fix or a legal decree, but a long, arduous process of sincere effort, self-reflection, and earned trust. It's an invitation to acknowledge that some wounds require more than an apology. They demand consistent, respectful action. His journey reminds us that integrity is not just about adhering to laws, but about aligning one's actions with one's stated values even when it's painful. Lesson 4: The power of community and comprehensive support. Finally, the unbreakable bond teaches us about the power of community and the essential nature of support. From Pastor Daniels to Ms. Carter, and even the initially hesitant neighbors, the gradual rallying around Tasha demonstrates that no one should have to face such battles alone. It highlights the importance of empathy, understanding, and the practical provisions that can make all the difference in a family's ability to not just survive, but truly flourish. The comprehensive support ordered by Judge Ellis, from rental assistance to job placement, illustrates a model of justice that goes beyond merely resolving a dispute. It seeks to address the systemic issues that led to the dispute in the first place. This holistic approach is a blueprint for how communities and institutions can genuinely uplift vulnerable families. As Tasha looks forward, with her children safe and thriving, her decision to place Judge Wright's envelope on the highest shelf is emblematic of her wisdom. It acknowledges the past without letting it dictate the present or future entirely. It signifies that forgiveness, if it comes, will be on her terms, born of genuine change, not coerced by legal pressure or public expectation. It's a testament to her agency and her unwavering commitment to her children's emotional well-being above all else. This story is a powerful affirmation that in a world often defined by material wealth and superficial measures of success, the richest inheritance we can give or receive is the profound, unconditional, and utterly unbreakable bond of family, forged in love, perseverance, and unwavering presence. May we all choose the hands that hold when everything else lets go. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If this story resonated with you, if it made you reflect on what truly defines family, or if it simply made your day, please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that explore the depths of the human spirit. Until next time, remember, choose love, choose presence, choose to show up.